How is no one else out there financially panicking?
If anyone out there is wondering how Americans are doing, poorly.
So I may delete this later, I don't know. But
Nowadays, it seems like everyone is in financial panic. Let's talk about it.
How is no one else out there financially panicking? Or at least having conversations about the fact that we're all financially panicking. I jokingly made a picture, post, whatever the other day, and I was like, do I need to sell some feet pics or shake my ass to pay the bills around here? I have a successful job. I love what I do. I live in an apartment by myself that I love. I don't go too far out of my means when it comes to certain things. But right now, this morning, I went to Costco and I filled up half a tank and it was $5.20 a gallon at Costco gas. And in the past, Costco gas has been my Lord and Savior when it comes to the insane gasoline prices. This morning, it gave me a heart attack. This morning, it straight up gave me a heart attack. Not only that, this is a very vulnerable post, by the way, so sorry. I can't financially afford to go to my best friend's baby shower in another state. And a year ago, I would have been able to. Right now, I'm not. And I don't know that the gas thing really threw me for a loop and made me panic, because also rent is due in a few days. Just got paid, going straight to rent. And yeah, people's finances are such a touchy subject, but with the state of the world right now, I feel like I'm panicking. And it's not a big enough conversation. It's not a big enough conversation for people. Does that make sense? Is anybody else financially panicking out there? I'm what's a girl gotta do around here? What's a girl gotta do around here?
Unfortunately, feet pics and shaking is, I don't know if you guys have seen that or not, but it's paying some high dollars. I mean, seeing what these OnlyFans girls are making, I mean, it's wild. Maybe I need to make a JJ Buckner OnlyFans reaction video. Maybe that way I don't have to worry about money anymore.
so I may delete this later, I don't know. But I'm on my way to go pick up my kids. And I just needed to vent for a second before I go and put on a face and try not to show a mom's tired, or that I'm stressed, or that this is fucking hard. And I know I have no one to blame but myself, and I can't wait until we're through this rough patch and I get to set them up in a life where they don't have to maybe feel this part of the journey in life or whatever. But I'm so tired. I work nights. I've been picking up extra to make up grounds on the mistakes that we've made. And I know this is just a season, but I'm fucking tired. And I know the only way through this, the only way out is through. But it doesn't mean it's not hard. And that doesn't mean it doesn't suck. And now I'm crying ugly on the internet, so there's that. But, yeah, if you can relate, if it sucks, if you're having a hard time, if you're trying so hard to change the trajectory of your family's financial future, and you feel like crashing out today, just know you're not alone. So, yeah.
I mean, it is tough times right now, guys. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. As much as I say, live on a budget, live below your means, invest your difference by using public, link down below in the description. Put your money in an emergency fund for public, link below in the description. Use my budget tracker, all this I talk about. But at the end of the day, This is real life. Times are not the best right now. But what blows my mind, and I see you guys in the comment section mention this too, what blows my mind is how much people are still spending. I mean, when you go to restaurants, at least in my area, packed. Like when you go to we have a local spot here where we're at. It's called Silver Dollar City. It's an amazing amusement park, by the way. If you've never been and you're in the area, I highly recommend it. And we like to take our kids there, throughout the spring and summer. And they have a great Halloween and Christmas time too. But anyways, tangent. Every time I go there, that park is jam-packed. Everyone's got trinkets and food items. And I'm just like, how is everyone affording this? It's wild to see people are still spending money. But then it makes me think, it's like, okay, well, how many of these people we're seeing are using the credit card, and they're going to be making payments on that credit card for months after this trip in order to pay for these trinkets and goodies and everything else? That's the real question. But if there's a lot of people out there who are killing it and who are getting by, it's like, well, what's the difference? Is it lifestyle choices? Is it just some people have great incomes and they got lucky? I don't know. You tell me. But with the combination of everything going on right now, gas prices, rent, home prices, groceries, freaking insurance left and right, health, everything, it's wild right now. And it's something that I don't see that can continue much longer unless, one, we have a major recession, or two, the United States government continues to print trillions and trillions of dollars and will just push, kick the can down the road a little further. I don't see another way out of it.
The ungodly high cost of living is causing Americans to throw in the towel and give up. This system isn't sustainable. It's literally meant to benefit the 1% and only the 1%. You can work hard all week and still not be provided with enough money to pay your rent, pay for groceries, pay for necessities, nothing. And then people still try to turn around and gaslight you into making it all out to be your fault. It's like, what's the deal here? We're all just expected to keep our mouth shut and just keep working and working and working until we develop health problems, until, we have heart attacks, until we literally pass away. Because that's kind of how it's starting to feel here, and it realistically isn't really a life that's worth living, even in the slightest. People are literally fed up. People are at their wits' end with this shit. People are checking out at unprecedented rates. And instead of showing empathy, instead of showing compassion, instead of showing the slightest bit of humanity, all a lot of people really know how to do anymore is kick people while they're already down. I'm not really sure what's happened to America, but it's absolutely nothing to be proud of anymore.
Okay, so for those of you that know me, that's a tougher one to talk about because I'm like in the middle on this. Yes, I do think financially a lot of people make the wrong choices. Like just hands down, clear as day, people are not good at making financial decisions. They're not. Most people aren't. I'm just going to say it. Because we're never taught. We're not taught how to make good financial decisions. That's the problem. So then, now we have this growing lower middle class and poverty line, and that group of citizens is getting larger and larger by the day. And then you also have higher prices happening, larger and going up larger and larger by the day. So you have this growing group of people who are barely making ends meet, or they're living paycheck to paycheck, or they're in, God forbid, they're in the negative at the end of the month, which that's also another growing group of people in that lower middle class area. So then you see this girl's video and you're like, yeah, it makes sense. And then you look around and it's like, oh my gosh, gas prices, all-time highs, rent, all-time highs, groceries, all-time highs, home values, all-time highs. And what hasn't kept up? Working wages, right? So I get that side of the argument. I do. But there's also a side of me that's like, we got to kind of do better. Like, these are the hands we're dealt. Yes, I think the government's screwing us over by what they choose to do, the amount that they choose to tax us. I think that's a bunch of BS. I think how they have handled this situation since COVID has been not the greatest. You know, when you try to stimulate the economy and pump trillions of dollars, like you're going to have rapid inflation. It's economics 101. But the other side of that is like we still have to manage our money. Like we can't live off excuses and play victim mentality. I'm sorry, it doesn't work. It doesn't work like that, guys. We have to own where we're at and figure out a way to make it better. Like, so it's tough because I see both sides and I've been on both sides. I've been where we're, penny pinching, not making ends meet. I've been there. I know what it feels like and it sucks. And I think with that, the best thing we can do here is we need a change. We do. We need a change. Not only do we need to change our financial habits, but we need to change how much money is getting printed. I think our biggest thing here, and that makes the greatest point, is just stuff has gotten too expensive. Life right now, I feel sorry for, like I said, Gen Z and even like the newest people coming out of high school and college. I guess if they're still Gen Z, I don't know when their cutoff is. But like, that's the generation I'm feeling the worst for right now, because I could not imagine me going back, to 2000, what would that be, 14 was when I graduated college. I came out to pretty okay economic times. I did. It wasn't that bad. 2014, 15, 16, 17, 8, like it was all great times. I could not imagine starting at that time in life with the prices and the way everything is right now. Talk about getting a kick in the butt. Hey, thanks for graduating high school and college. Now you get to walk into the society of just rapid inflation.
If anyone out there is wondering how Americans are doing, poorly. We are doing poorly. Yesterday, I woke up to an email from my landlord saying, hey, I'm raising your rent. Why? No f***ing reason. We already pay all of the utilities ourselves. That is not included in the rent. So we pay for electricity and we pay for water and we pay for natural gas to heat our home. And that bill in particular has f***ing skyrocketed this year. Every single month this winter, it was over $600. And we do not turn the heat on. We just turn it so that we can f***ing survive. We do not turn it above like 60. So we're f***ing freezing in the house all winter. Oh, and also I woke up this morning to an email from my health insurance being like, thanks for your payment. It was deducted automatically, except this time the payment was $400 more than it was last month. Sorry? What's going on? So I called the health insurance company and I was like, why did this happen? And they said, oh, well, the tax premium expired. And I said, tell me why that happened. Is that because of federal budget cuts? Is that because of the New York State budget? Where did that come from? And they said, we don't know. You have to call the New York State Department of Health. And so I called the New York State Department of Health and it was just whole rigmarole because they intentionally make it so opaque that you just have to spend all of your time and energy just navigating this bureaucracy and trying not to get more than they're already you. I got my new IUD yesterday, so I've been hugging this heating pad all day and eating Advil like it's breakfast cereal. Meanwhile, I don't even know how much that bill is going to be for. I don't know how much that procedure costs because I tried to find out before I got it. I called my health insurance company and I was like, how much is it going to be? And they were like, we don't know. You have to call the doctor. And so I called the doctor and I was like, how much is it going to be? And they were like, we don't know. You have to call your insurance. And so nobody could give me an answer. And I was like, well, I need the IUD because I cannot afford to have children. Obviously, meanwhile, the psychos over at CPAC are like, hey, you dumb leave the workforce. Better yet, never join the workforce and shack up with the first chud you meet in high school and start popping out babies that we know that you cannot afford because they're psycho Christian nationalists. The experience of being a working class American is to just be squeezed for every single dollar that you have at every turn, and you're like, just wave your arm and you just run into another fee that you were supposed to pay. And where does that money go? Straight to the top, straight to the billionaires who do not create jobs. In fact, they keep slashing jobs just to invest in AI data centers. I don't understand how we're not out in the streets all the time.
You want to know what really grinds my gears? Is our insurance industry in the health department. I don't know if you guys have ever had to call on a bill or deal something over insurance. It is a complete nightmare. If there is one thing I want to complain besides taxes of American living is our health and insurance industry. Complete freaking scam. Complete scam. It's absolutely horrible. And then what also is crazy is kind of like what she was saying, is just how stuff just randomly gets more expensive. Like you get a call, oh, hey, your insurance is going up because we're going to start charging you more and we said so. The other thing that I think probably deserves its own video, I don't know if I'll ever make it, but is utility cost. Like they're already a monopoly type of a company because there's nowhere else to go. Like I can't go shop utility rates. I can't go shop at a different, gas provider and say, hey, I'm going to, instead of using you who goes through, and I got to pay my cost, I'm going to go over to this other guy. There's no choice. So they can charge whatever the hell they want. And what's crazy is the cost of electricity. Blows my mind.
How is everyone affording life? Real question. How are you guys doing it? Because my daycare costs the same as our mortgage, which is just wild to me. And I had a crash out earlier today just about how like really expensive everything really truly is. And I just don't know how you guys are doing it. So I have a corporate 6-figure job. I should be able to afford life. We're not doing anything wrong. Just life is expensive. And I'm the breadwinner in my household. There's this like constant stress, like hanging over my head all the time of you got to make more to provide for your family, especially in this day and age. And it's wild because at the same time, I'm stuck in these corporate handcuffs and I am going through burnout. I don't want to continue doing this. I have like the mental load, hanging over my head. I'm trying to be a good mom, let alone like a good wife, daughter, sister, friend, which I'm failing at all of those things, I feel like. And if you have any tips or tricks of how you're getting through, would love to connect on them because it's wild. Hang in there. Have a good day.
So there's a lot of ways I could respond to that video. I mean, if you can't live off 6 figures, there's definitely a spending problem. I mean, I could live a great life on 6 figures and never worry about money. Like 100%. Plain as day. Like if you can't make 6 figures work today, unless you're living in like a very, very high cost of living area, you have a spending issue. 100%, guys. 100%. And you can't prove me wrong on that. Unless, like I said, you live in New York City or LA or some of these major expensive areas. Most places in the country, you can definitely live off 6 figures. But it comes with the choices. And there's a comment that was the most liked comment under this girl's video, and let's read that together. Girl says, her name's Britt. She says, do you want my honest answer? Because she asked for tips and tricks and stuff like that. She says, I'm a stay-at-home mom. We survive on my husband's income and we are fairly comfortable. But we live in a 1978 outdated house. Drive used vehicles. Haven't taken a vacation in years. We eat out 1 to 2 times per month total. Budget grocery bills. Do not go shopping for new clothes. I don't get nails, facials, Botox, anything. I get my hair done maybe 1 time a year. A lot of the people who tell me I'm so lucky to stay home and do all the aforementioned things while living in a new build, driving a Tahoe, etc., it's a lot of sacrifice. A lot. And I think that comment literally just nails it. It nails it. That's what I'm talking about when I make my videos, is that girl right there, Britt. Because my wife and I made a lot of those same decisions on our journey, on our financial journey. We still make a lot of those same decisions. So then when you hear people complaining, and they're complaining in a brand new car with probably an $800-900 car payment, paying $3,000 a month in rent to stay in a nice place, like, is that sacrifice? Or are we just complaining because we're choosing to live in and do things that are expensive and that we can't afford? I don't know. You tell me.
I need to know if this is a universal feeling. I get such bad anxiety around like paying for my bills and spending money and everything like that. Like it makes some things kind of not enjoyable. Now the bulk of my money comes in a month at a time. Like I invoice, freelance, 1099, whatever. And I have like pretty steady income from all of that. But like I said, I have to like pay everything off first and then see, what fun money I have and things like that. But sometimes I kind of pay off my bigger bills and then wait. And today I paid a bill that was going to go through in a couple of weeks, or not even, like maybe next week or something anyway. And it paid off this thing I've been paying off for like a year now. And I like don't feel relieved. I feel anxious that I like made the wrong move when I still have to pay that thing off this month anyway. If you have dealt with like financial anxiety, like please let me know what you do. I kind of just have to like tell myself like it's okay, like you're also working, there's money coming in, you're not, it's not like you don't know where your next meal is coming from. Like I'm so grateful for that. It's just there's something in my psyche that like does not, it like tenses up. I'm like, okay, there's 20 more days of the month, like I need to make this month. Like I just start to get into a spiral and like calculate and like 1 carry the 5 like 3 times. nuts. Like, am I the only one? Is this universal?
Definitely universal, and I wanted to end it with this clip because I felt like this went perfect with like the financial panic, topic of this video. So I don't know if I've ever shared this or not, but I struggle with this financial anxiety. I don't know if that's what we want to call it. Like, I 100% struggle. I always feel like I'm behind. I always feel like I'm not doing enough. I always feel like I'm not making the right choices financially, that I need to be doing more. And I think that's kind of a struggle of our generation, maybe. I don't know. Because I do feel like we are paying so much just to live our everyday lives that we are kind of feeling a little bit held back and not as secure. Just because we have seen the past 5 to 6 years, everything just get more and more expensive. So a lot of us are like, how long is this going to last for? I also think about, the financial anxiety of planning for the future. You see these videos of these 70, 80-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 50-year-olds who have nothing, absolutely nothing saved for retirement. And so you look at our generation, who a lot of us are just barely struggling to get by every month. Retirement's not even in our forethought. I mean, it's not even in the plans. It's not even in the works. Most people right now can barely even afford to get by, let alone drop a ton of money in for retirement. But that's where we got to make the changes, right? That's what's got to make us feel a little bit better. Because I will tell you, whenever you do make those changes, when you do live on and make those sacrifices financially, and you're able to turn that around, and you're able to have a nice little nest egg, emergency fund, or you're able to live on a budget and you're living below your means and you have a little bit of money left over every single month that you can put into your emergency fund or investments or whatever it is, it starts to feel a little better. It starts to feel a bit more comfortable. Yes, you may still struggle with the anxiety sometimes. I still do. But it's the fact that you're making the right moves consistently month over month. And that's what's going to get you ahead financially. And that's what's going to make you feel a little bit more comfortable with your money.